Hi, this is Susan from Inner Wisdom Healing Arts. Thanks for joining me on my channel today. I had a healing hypnosis client a while back. One of the things she brought into her session was understanding why she was having issues with cataracts. Now, she was doing some other alternative treatments. She was trying to avoid surgery. She did have some improvement, but hadn't been able to completely get rid of them. And there's always, anytime we have a physical issue, there's an emotional connection to it. So what her higher self said was the purpose of the cataracts was to blur and slow down the input of information. Now, why? Why would she want to slow that down? There was a fear. Fear of the gore in the world was the response, especially when it came to the treatment of animals. She was a vegan and just really hurt her heart to see how animals are treated. So emotionally, it was a protective mechanism for her. Now, we did work on helping her to resolve it, and she did say, she was told by her higher self that it would take a little time, but eventually it would get resolved. And part of that resolution had to do with her learning to see the situation, the plight of the animals from a higher perspective. It wasn't necessarily going to go away, but for her to understand that the animals had also made a choice to have this experience. And of course, anytime we're looking at a situation where there's harm, doesn't mean that, we don't advocate, or stand up for, what is right and true. But, we are in this human experience to have different experiences. And one of her soul's purposes was to help open people's eyes to this issue. And she was having trouble with it herself. So that was the purpose of the cataracts, which then got me thinking, a lot of us wear, glasses. I from a very young age, I started wearing glasses. My whole family had some kind of vision, either, farsighted or nearsighted issues. For us all to, take a look at, why am I not seeing clearly? What is the emotional issue behind it? What is the defense? What is this protecting me from? Whatever the images are, the belief systems, of course we're going, beyond the physical. Our scientists have, certainly understand the physical ramifications. But in this work, when we're doing this deep healing work, we're really going back further. We're going back to the roots. Everything happens energetically before it manifests physically. So, even when people say, oh, it's in my DNA, I could say, well, I inherited it. Everybody, I was the youngest. And everybody in my family needed corrective lenses of some sort or the other. DNA or not, on another level, I adopted the energy pattern of my family, as we all have. Unless we have decided to really look closer and do our healing work. So one of the benefits of healing hypnosis is, to connect with your higher self and really go back, dig deep, What is at the root of this issue? Why am I choosing this experience? Where did it originate? And how can we resolve the issue and clear it up? So whether it's your eyesight or other physical issues, it's always interesting to go back and see what is the connection to it on that emotional level. How can I help resolve it? Is there a fear? Is there a belief? Is there an image? Am I avoiding something? You can even explore this on your own, without a hypnosis session. Just start paying attention. Bring curiosity into it, that observer self. Do I have a habit of avoiding seeing things clearly? We can look at relationships. Do you end up in relationships that you kind of wonder, God, how did I end up in this relationship? You have this familiar pattern. Is what is it you're not willing to see that you end up in this situation time and time again? It doesn't necessarily have to be relationships. Maybe it's other patterns and issues. So we always, bring it back to ourselves. What is my part in this pattern? Is there something that I'm getting out of it? And if you'd like some help going deeper into it, which can be really helpful, to have somebody holding that space and really giving you a safe space and helping you make that connection to your higher self that has the answers. I'll see you soon.